Okay, so the first question I want to ask you, what was your favorite tracks that we worked on together? As far as like the first mixtape, the Prince Sabotage, the Prince Demise, and the Prince Revival.
Mm. Well, we worked on a ton, so that one's going to be a very hard question to answer. Um, I would say I like the second album that we worked on. That one was like a favorite of mine. For a particular track, wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
name it because I liked a lot of them. There's too much to name. So it would be that would be a hard one to name. That one's a hard question. I would say but if I can answer the favorite album, I would say the second album is more of my favorite.
Yeah, the Prince Demise. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
that one
got
was
right
really
into
good.
that bag, man. I was just like, man, I'm so inspired to even to go back to even making mixtapes, because I thought that door was closed when I started making albums. But then when I did my album Feelings Bleed too, I feel like I already touched on the basics of it. It's like everybody know my come up, everybody know my rising, everybody know my past to like my previous projects. So I was like, man, I'm gonna just do something different. And then I started involving these like different clowns and everything. Shout out to my bro Tommy, like he inspired me to come up with like a different character. And I was like, yo, this could be interesting. And then I ran the idea by you, and you said that I should try to do something like the Wyatt family. So, and that's crazy. And then I was like, that's when I started coming up with the tribe and the numbers. They was like, man, what is the 13 mean? I was like, it's not just 13. It's just like six threes. It could just be backwards. Upside down. So it's like it could be 31 backwards, or it could be 13. So it's like when I dropped it on Friday the 13th, I was like, man, this is everything.
Yeah, they felt it. Like they felt the words of what you were saying and everything.
Yeah, because my favorite tracks that I got noted right here is Soul Verified with that Jackson 5 sample flip. I had that beat for 2 years before I even wrote to it, because I was like, man, the beat is 4 minutes, so how can I fit in what I want to say? Because the sample's like, see, so it's like I'm trying to come up with a hook that go with the sample flip, and then I was just thinking like, everybody thought I was like dissing Drake, but I wasn't dissing Drake. But it's just like I thought about like these other rappers and everybody, like all these entertainers was wearing like nail polish, and that's why I came at them like that. I was like, yo, I'm tired of this feminist shit. I'm tired of like seeing these rappers with nail polish, like Lil Yachty, like everybody's wearing nail polish. I was like, yo, this is not hip hop at all. In my
Yeah,
opinion,
it's
like
like
this
they're
is
turning it's like they're trying to make the rappers more feminine in a way, which it's supposed to be masculine.
Yeah, that's just like Pop wearing nail polish, Biggie wearing nail polish, Jay Z wearing nail polish. It's just not hip hop to me.
They do that because they want to be like the rock stars from the 80s, because a lot of them would wear those kind of things. And now that the rappers are the new rock stars, they try to emulate that. However, they shouldn't. They should be more like themselves instead of trying to be like the rock stars.
Yeah,
Because
because like
Snoop be doing that and Jay-Z be doing that, and they need to stop doing that.
yeah, and when I saw Drake wearing nail polish, I was like, what the hell is that? Like he was posting like, oh, I got a new pair set on. I'm like, hell no. And then my second favorite track is The Devil is Heartless off the Prince the Mice. I knew I had to come with like a different mindset for that one. It's like I heard the beat and it sounded like a pop beat at first, but I was thinking like, well, if I could just make it sound like it's hip hop, but then have a pop element to it, because it's a clean record, because I didn't want to curse on it, because I was thinking, well, man, if I just say like potentially I want this song on the radio, right? So they're not gonna play it if it's having too much swearing, like hardly any swearing at all. So I was like, man, if they push this song, it's gonna be dope. So,
Mhm.
and then I had like the evil clown as the cover art. Like I made all those cover arts. Like he was like, man, that's AI, that's AI. But it was like I could just put in like what I wanted the cover to look like. But I didn't even use no ChatGPT for it. I was like, man, I'm gonna use this app called Imagine, and then the cover art was dull. So I just did my own thing to it and like added more colors and stuff to it. So, and then the other one is Three Primes Interlude, and I was in my bag for that one. Man, that was,
Mm,
that was crazy.
I
And then
did.
Too Easy from the Prince Sabotage, Almost 30, Gold Standard, and Back to Reality, bro. Like those
Oh,
tracks.
Back to Reality is a good
Yeah,
record. That one was good.
yeah, and an honorable mention, Dangerous Game.
Mm.
Yeah, Dangerous Game. That's one of my favorites too because it's already the sample with Anderson .Paak and Bruno. So I was like, man, if I could just come up with, I always felt like I didn't told that story over and over, but I was like, I could just think of new ways to reinvent of like it's not really like a breakup song or anything like that, but it's just like, man, I'm just reminiscing about what it was, or what could be, but I just fucked it up. And it's just relatable like that. It's just crazy. But I know we talked about this before, but this next question is, how was it like growing up in Canada, and what did you do as a kid and all the way up to your teen years? Like,
Well, growing up in Canada was a very great experience as Canada is one of those chill places where people, they get along with each other. They're very polite. And the only way you cross a Canadian is if you're too rude to a Canadian. Another thing about growing up in Canada is that, it's just a very great environment where I grew up in, like in Montreal. Like it was just a very, got to do a lot of things as a kid with people, like go to amusement parks or enjoy music that's playing in the streets because they play a lot of music in Montreal because it's a music town. So they play a lot of jazz, hip hop, reggae, rock, blues, etc. So it was just a very, musical type of vibe. And the childhood that I had in Canada in general was very, very good.
yeah, that's dope because in Canada it has a whole lot of cultural things. So one of these days I want to plan a trip and go up there because I have some friends in Canada. And when I first started on making music, my first reach was Canada. So it was Canada and Romania. That's why I feel like I owe Canada everything, like because they the ones that really I feel like they appreciated my music the most. So when I come up to Canada, man, we gonna rock that shit, bro. we
Oh,
gonna rock.
legit, man. There'll be plenty of stuff for you to see. And plus, playing your music in front of a live crowd, the Canadians, I can tell you how the Canadians react in an audience for music.
Yeah.
They will tell you they will rock the house all the way. You'll be feeling it. Like the crowd in where I'm from, you will
Yeah.
really love it. Especially in Toronto and Vancouver. They'll make you want to keep performing.
Like Toronto, like I love Toronto because they ran up my track Glass Ceiling, and then they ran up the track. Um, it's off my other album, Feelings Bleed too. Like, man, they show so much support. Man, I love Toronto and Montreal too. Like, where you from? Man,
Montreal,
it's
yep.
crazy. I really want to explore all of Canada though, and especially like since it's next to Alaska too. Man, it's crazy, man. I really want to go over there that area. So the next question is, did your parents support anything that you chosen to do? Either like you said you wanted to grow up and do this and grow up and do that. Did they ever support you?
In the beginning, not really. I mean, when they found out what I was doing, I know that one of them was like, oh, okay, he's doing that, but I could tell deep down that they didn't support it. But, when the money started rolling in, then,
Yeah.
the first parent, they're like, oh, okay, so he's doing this. All right, I have no choice to support it now. As for the other parent, well, not right away, but I made him a fan. So as soon as he realized that, hey, this is something that I like and it's actually doing something, then he became a fan magically, overnight. So wasn't right away, but they became fans over time. You know what they say: first they're your haters, and then they become fans later on. And they
Yeah.
watch from the sidelines, and now they're more happy. Well, in some ways they're happy, but I don't try and focus mainly on their kind of approval. I focus more on people's approval because if you focus mainly on their approval, then you may not live the life you want to live. So I focus on the people who are paying attention.
Yeah, I feel the same way too because when I first started this music grind, a lot of people were saying like, well, it's gonna take a lot of courage, it's gonna take a lot of grinding, it's gonna take a lot of hard work. And at that time I was real determined because I was like, man, I have this music dream because I had a drawing scholarship too. So I was thinking, well, if I combine that with this music stuff, because my financial aid got messed up and I lost my scholarship, over some bullshit. So I felt like if I just tapped back into this music thing, because a lot of people saying I had talent and everything, So I was thinking, because in all reality, I wanted to be a beatboxer and a producer. I never thought about getting on the mic and none of that stuff because a lot of people was telling me that I was good at beatboxing and I always loved melodies. And I wrote about this in my book too, before the music, the documentary, like how I was listening to the melodies and I wanted to do that because Kanye, like early Kanye, like he really inspired me to get on. Like I didn't know how to play like the instruments and anything at that time, but I felt like yo, if I could just get like a drum machine because I was going around searching for a drum machine at Sam Ash. You know about Sam Ash, right? I don't know if it's
Yeah, I've
Sam Ash
heard of it.
in Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I was pricing a drum machine, but it was more than what I can afford for it. So I was thinking, if I have a laptop, then I can just download FL Studio and just learn from there. But then people didn't really want to teach me, so I was like, man, I'm gonna just go back to rapping. Just writing a little bit more and then expressing my emotions because I had like this. I didn't have like a mentor or anything. I didn't have like a manager, and I still don't have that now. But then I was thinking like, well, if I could just run some of my ideas, to my friends, like they would support. But then, you know how that goes. So I was like,
Yeah,
man,
sometimes if people don't support, you just go around to strangers that you don't know. As it's always been said, strangers support more than friends and family, as it's a true statement. Like if you look at Eminem's concert, you don't see Eminem's mother out there or his cousin out there or 50 Cent's cousins. You see people that he's never met before. So really you just have to look into the people who are likely not going to know you at all personally. And if some of them eventually come around, then they come around, and that's pretty much simple. Or if they don't teach you what they teach you, then you just teach yourself.
that's true. That's true. Because I always felt like experience was the best teacher because like with the experience, you got to have more failures. You got to take a lot of losses. Like that's even included. Like if you lose a lot of relationships because of this dream and this goal, and then you got to realize that nothing ever comes overnight. Because a lot of people they'll sell their soul for fame. They'll sell their soul just to get to the money. I'm like, yo, I'm never doing none of that shit. I know a lot of people say, well, never say never, but I mean that never because I done lost a whole lot of relationships because of this dream. And I'm like, yo, something good got to come out this dream. Like sometimes it feel like a nightmare, but shit, it's my grind. It's my dream, And people try to talk you out of it. People try to talk you out your dreams and make you have doubt and make you get depressed and all that stuff. And which follow the next statement is like, what you think of mental health? Because I never not to cut you off. Like I really don't touch on mental health this much because I go through it with small spurts. But what's your opinion on mental health?
Well, mental health is something that everybody goes through. Like everybody can go through happiness and then they can get depressed on really anything, or just they have issues of their own. But one thing for mental health is if you feel like you're overstressing yourself, then you take a day time for yourself, like take a break, reflect, make sure that you always love yourself, because that's the most important thing. If you don't love yourself, then it could be a very dark place, but you always gotta love yourself deep down, because many people go through it, and some people, their vices could be alcohol, um, drugs, sex, whichever. But the main thing is those things are just temporary fixes. The main thing is what's in your mind right here. Like you just gotta make sure that you love yourself, you be positive of yourself, and that you just keep going. Like it could be a hard world because it's a marathon, not a sprint, but you just got to keep moving forward until you can't keep moving no more, because age is a number when you start something out of a dream, because a dream starts from one thing, but eventually when the dream grows and grows, it can blossom into a butterfly. So you just got to, for mental health, always be able to take care of yourself and always know that you love yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Because it was a lot of times where I was struggling and there's nobody that I could vent to personally because a lot of people didn't understand what I was going through personally because, as a kid, you don't really focus on mental health. You just sometimes you just get used to like certain different trauma. Like it depends on like if you was in a good neighborhood, bad neighborhood, or like if anybody else's story and you feel for them, but it's just like when you in that spot yourself and you feel like you have no corners to turn. It's like everybody just turn their backs on you. Sometimes it makes it worse because sometimes it felt like I was strong one day, and then the next day I felt like it'll be better off if I just kept sleeping, and never woke up. But sometimes if you have a strong faith, then your fight becomes stronger.
Well, yeah, it's all about in belief and then believing in yourself because everybody has days where you go up and down. It's just you just don't let the bad part inside win. You let the good part win. So you just remember, hey, you can have the worst day in the world, but there's a one positive thing that is always there is that you're alive and that you just keep going.
That's true, and that's how I got involved in music, like because my dad passed away when I was 19, like a year after I graduated, and I felt like
Oh.
everybody just been turned their backs on me. Like everybody folded, like even including my family members who wasn't there for me. And it's just like sometimes you leave like an open void. And I feel like because my dad, he was always like, inconsistent in my life. He wasn't there for me when I was a kid. So, and I wrote about that in my book too, because he was in and out of jail a lot. So he didn't really know anything about relationships either, because his lifestyle. And he got married, his wife divorced him 3 days after his birthday. So it just left me and my mom. So he had his own pain he was going through, and he had his own emotional turmoil. So he couldn't really come around and tell us anything, because he always felt like the drugs and like the substance abuse, like it was more there for him than we was. So it's crazy,
It's
man.
like that. It's a whole thing that takes over. Well, my condolences to him because that's terrible and all that. But like, you have to remember, even though through all of that, I mean, some people they just don't know how to show the emotion of how to love anybody. So it's just one of those things that some people they either get better one day or they never do. But it's I mean, the best thing ever is that not, that you're here on this earth, and when you have a kid one day, you can do the opposite of what he did and show a better example and everything. Because it's just one of those things people go through where sometimes you wish for that parent to be there, but they're not. But as long as there's other figures, sometimes like I don't know if you have an uncle or whatever that you had that was a mentor to you as well, but as long as you have a good mentor that's someone that could steer you away from bad things, then there's nothing really much you can worry about. But at least through all of that, I mean, you still have yourself that you believe in.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, all you got is yourself.
Yeah. And you got people that, care for you and everything. And like I said, if you have a kid one day, then you can do what he didn't do and show it with your son or daughter, and then they'll show you the love back, and then the whole trauma of that breaks.
That's true. Like that generation curse. I feel like it's a generation curse. That be going on. But sometimes it take different people to be strong, and to rise
Yeah.
above the obstacles and the odds. Just to defeat that purpose, man. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like one of those things where some people they handle it the right way or they handle it the wrong way. Because I've seen people in their lives where they didn't have their own parents in their life, or people who have, as they're estranged from their parents, and they end up either doing better or they do worse. But it's all up to them because if it's like if you come from a family of alcoholics, like okay, maybe the father drank and the grandfather drank and the great grandfather drank, but that don't mean you could get to pick up a bottle and drink. You have a choice. You can put the bottle down, say, "Hey, I'm not going to do that," or you can pick it up and do the same thing.
And that's true. Temptation.
Exactly.
So I know you say you gotta go, but
I can
I
give you
mean,
5 more extra minutes if you want.
okay, yeah. So we was coming up with our top five R&B artists. Yo, I had to change that, man. I had to swap uh Aretha Franklin with Whitney Houston, bro. I had to, bro.
Because Whitney Houston, she's like a talented legend, and you can't forget about her. She had the hook. She sang like an angel.
Yeah, she did. Like my mom, she made me watch The Bodyguard over and over. I'm like, yo, I'm tired of this bodyguard, man. And then wait to exhale. Yo, I'm tired of all this shit, man. So, but this time I want you to name your top 10 favorite R&B songs, bro.
R&B songs.
Yeah, top 10 R&B songs. Like it could be what you
Hmm.
favorite or just name top 10. And I got my top 10 right here.
Okay, R&B songs.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough one because R&B songs. Okay. Well, there's Chris Brown, Deuce Deuces. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of them. Um, let's see. Because there's so many to name, so that's gonna be a tough one. That's like a very, very tough one. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, even though that's a pop song, but you can mix that with R&B. That's the
Oh,
second one.
yeah. Yeah.
That's a very good one because when you hear Michael Jackson, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, you just feel that whole thing, want to be starting something. I
It's
also
like,
could say This Lady in My Life, even though it's like, it's more of an R&B kind of thing. That's another one.
yeah.
I have a lot of Michael Jackson ones there because I love Michael Jackson. He's like a very talented artist, and that he's basically, one of my favorite artists is next to Pac and Nas and Cube and
Cool, bro.
just
Like Michael, he really inspired me, bro. Like when I was a kid, I was used to practice his dance moves and everything. My mom, she got tired of me watching Billie Jean perform, like the Motown 20. Oh, yo, man. She got
Yeah,
she
es-
just took that
especially with
paper.
the Thriller movie that he would have. He had the zombies coming out, and his
Yeah.
own one that he had on the Sega Genesis. Like Michael Jackson is just a prophecy that not no artist would be able to touch. Like his impact, he's been dead since '09, and his impact is just all the way there to the point where we're getting a movie of Michael Jackson next year, and this time it's going to be proper because the ones they made in the past they butchered the characters a lot and get a character that doesn't even look like him at all. But this year, no, next year when the movie going to come out, Michael, I'm
Mhm.
just hoping they do everything correctly. Like they explain his
Me
life
too.
piece by piece. They don't just, oh, we're just gonna go with when he was a kid, then we're gonna skip right over to Thriller. It's like, no, go through each step. Like, go through the Ben album, go
Yeah,
through the Jackson Five, explain everything, go through how Jermaine Jackson left, because Jermaine Jackson's an underrated one where he had Daddy's Home. That's an underrated R&B song there. And
yeah. My mom
like
played that a lot. Mm-mm.
yeah, like that's a song you could play like anywhere. But like they should make sure they explain every step of the way. Like they go through how the Jackson Five formed and talk about how they were going to be boxers and then they went into becoming singers. They have a group and then they go through Barry Gordon and then they talk
Yeah,
about just not through Barry Gordon, but how like Michael Jackson wanted to leave the group, his father's relationship, and then just go into how Off the Wall was created, and then go through Thriller, and then The Bad, then Dangerous, and just go through step by step by step. Just like they like as long as they don't do it like how All Eyes on Me was done,
yeah,
I'd be happy with that. Like as long as they don't go through that, like I would be perfectly happy with that.
yeah. Because I feel like the that documentary that I seen, like I think it came out like in the '90s. It was the American Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, I feel like that. As long as they do it better than that one, because that touched on a whole lot of details, but not as much. But I feel like if they could just combine like that with not the one with what's his name, the dude off of 101 that show Flex Alexander. Hell no. as
No.
long as as long as they
They
as long
like
as they focus on that
like they
just
should
shit,
they,
yeah,
they,
that's it.
they should make it like that, but detail it and show everything. In fact, I would have made it more a Netflix series because Michael Jackson's life is so long. Like he had 50 years, but he had a whole chapter that you can go into each week.
Oh, for real. Like it's but they said they was making like a part two as well. So
That's
hopefully that
even
will
better.
come too. Mm-hmm.
That's even better. Like they go through part one and then part two. Like show the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and then go through the
Yeah.
90s and 2000s because there's too much stuff to document. And there's so many artists that were influenced by him, like Usher with his Confessions. You can hear that vibe of where that comes from. Usher Burn, that's another. That's a top 10 there. Or you can freaking go into freaking my God. You can even go into Chris Brown. Chris Brown's an influence of that. Run It. That's another one. or you can go through what's another one there from Chris Brown that was a very good song that came out a few years ago. The one with actually I'll just say that I'll just say Psych, the Psyche one. That one was good, and you
Mhm.
can go through like there's so many influences from Michael Jackson itself that people got influenced by. Like Human Nature, that
Yeah,
one's
yeah.
another. That's another top one. Like you can go through that, and then Mary J. Blige, Real Love. I have to say that one. Real Love is a very underrated one.
That's
Really, really underrated. Bobby Brown, My Prerogative, Every Little Step, and
mm-hmm.
those would be the top 10 if I've named all 10.
Yo, that's wild because I always thought Bobby Brown, Ronnie, like that Don't Be Cruel album is it's classic. It's
Real
classic.
classic. It's an album that aged like wine. Like every time you play it, you're just
Mhm.
like, man, I remember when you first listened to it. You're just like, it just feels new. It feels fresh.
Yes, it does, man. Because my top 10, you gonna be like, what? But my first one is Roberta Flack. I left her off my list, bro. RP to Roberta Flack, man. Like the song "The Closer
Mhm.
I Get to You" with her and Donny Hathaway. Yo, I remember when I first heard that song. I heard it when I was in seventh grade. My mom played it. I was like, man, I gotta get that song, just have it on repeat because the closer I get to you, so I never
That's
heard
a
of
good
it.
song.
Yeah,
Oh
it
man.
really just made me reminisce about everything, man, about what was going on in my life at that time. And the second one is Marvin Gaye, "Just to Keep You Satisfied." You heard that one?
Yeah, I've heard that one. Those are stuff that my grandmother would play. She'd play
Yeah,
that with her grandfather in Jamaica around like near like Montego Bay. She'd play that
yeah,
all the time with her husband, like Marvin Gaye, old reggae tracks she'd play from like Peter Tosh to Bob Marley. Like those are Marvin Gaye is a classic, absolute classic. Underrated guy that not many people know about today.
yeah. Marvin Gaye, like, especially when he said, "You were my wife, my life, my hopes and dreams." Yo, he was storytelling, man. Because I heard on Baby Boy, I was like, man, I gotta find that song. I knew it was Marvin Gaye, but I couldn't find that song. So my third one is Luther Vandross, "If This World Were Mine." Yo, when I hit every
Oh,
time
that's a deep one.
it reminded me of that song, "The Wood." But then even before I saw that movie, my mom, she was always listening because she's a huge Luther Vandross fan. So but if this world were mine, and then even when Kendrick sampled it, I had Luther on repeat, bro. I was like, oh.
You see, with sampling, like when you sample something from an old song,
Yeah,
it brings you back to where the original sample was from. Like Luther, I could see Luther winning a bunch of awards when the Grammys come out because Luther is just a beautiful song. And I remember someone questioning, like, how is this song still played? I'm like, Luther's a freaking romantic song you could play with your woman. You can drive to work with it. You can go to the bank. You can just listen to it anywhere and feel in a good mood. Even listening to the original one. Like, if this world were mine. And then you just get off whatever anger you have, you're just happy.
yeah. And it's like the sample chops too. It's like, oh, that I own, that's so good to me. I
That
used to
classic.
do that shit, bro. The fourth one is Music Soul Child, "Half Crazy." Man, if you heard that song, man,
Oh,
woo.
that's a classic.
Yeah,
You got a whole heap of R&B classics there.
like my mind's going half crazy because I can't.
You know.
Yeah, I'm a huge Music Soul Child fan, man. It's crazy, man. I used to bug my sister because I heard it from her because she had the Music Soul Child CD, and then I borrowed it and I never gave it back to her, bro.
Well, I don't blame you. The song is that good. So when you have something that good, you are not going to return it.
And my fifth one is, you familiar with that group Switch?
Switch, not particularly.
Like they I mean, I don't know if you heard it, but like it's a song called "There'll Never Be."
I think I've heard the tune, but no, I'm not familiar with the group though or the song.
Yeah, you know that song "Throw Some D's" by Rich Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sampled that song from them, but it's
Oh,
I Call Your Name. But they got another song called "I Want to Be Closer," and yo, it's fire, man. You gotta check that out.
oh,
Yeah,
I got you. That's gonna be a recommendation on the list to check out after.
to you, baby. Yo, you gotta listen to it, man. It's
Oh, I
well,
will.
you know that group, the Bars, right?
I'm sorry.
You know that group, the Bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, like their oldest brother and the other brother, they was in that group Switch. They started it together.
Really?
Yeah,
That
that's
is
why
something I didn't know about.
when I did my research purposes, I was like, damn, no wonder they sounded like. My other song is Stevie Wonder, "Never Dream You Leave in Summer." You heard of that one?
Yeah, I've heard that one. Everyone knows Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, when I heard it on Poetic Justice, I was like, man, I had to go find that song, man. I was like, I never thought you leave. Yo, Stevie Wonder, like he's one of my favorite artists of all time, man. Like I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder, man. I love his songs. Like,
Yeah, like he's a musical genius. Like he's a musical genius that like revolved a lot of generations from the 70s, the 80s, like all the way.
yeah, yes, he did. Like even from the '60s, like he ran from the '60s, '70s, '80s, and '90s, man. Because my mom, she used to blast, "I still love you always." I used to beg her to change that song, man. But now, as I got older, man, I appreciate that song a little more. You know, now I understand it.
Yeah,
So
it's just one of those. It's just one of those songs that you know, as a kid, you'd be like, "Why is she playing it so much?" And then as you get old, you're just like, "I understand why."
it's a good classic song. You know, the
It,
next one is Alicia Keys, "If I Ain't Got You."
ooh, okay, that one is like a good love song right there.
Yeah,
Very
if I
good.
ain't got you, like that piano ballad, like in the intro, and you don't know my name. That I didn't. That's not a part of my top 10, but it's like it's on the same album. I was like that one and that. Yo, Kanye, he was in his bag when he made "You Don't Know My Name." That yo, I still listen to that, bro. You don't know my name, and it was like John Legend. He was in the background too. He was a background singer.
You're using the background.
Yeah, he
Oh
was
my
like
goodness.
he was the part going doo 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 doo. It was like I think he was doing the piano too, because he played the piano. You know when he first was on Kanye label, and the next one is Usher, Superstar. Yo, I still play that song, man.
Still play it to this day.
It's like one of the songs, man. Like it felt like half crazy to me, but by music, but I was like, man, I love Superstar. Like especially go like the
You got
guitar.
an old soul. You got an old soul that you love them soul jams, man. Those classics.
Because I grew up listening to because my sister, she had the Confessions album too. I was like, yo, me and my sister don't really get along good, but she put me on to so much R&B music, man. I was like, because I grew up with her like in the early 2000s, so that guitar like yo. And,
That,
Neo, Do You know about that one?
yeah, I knew about New You, Do You. My
Man,
cousin used to play that song.
that
He used to play it often to the point where I'm like, all right, man, I know you love playing it, but we got to play something else. But it's a
yeah,
good track.
especially when he said, man, he said, first, I would like to say congratulations. Just heard you had a baby girl. Yo, that shit
It
cuts
just
deep,
sets the
man.
mood in. Sets the mood in.
And especially the I just wonder.
Yeah.
Oh, I still listen to that, man. It's like all these songs is in the playlist. That's why I'm popping with them, man. It's like, think of me. Oh, do you? Yo, no,
Real good.
yo, that take me back, bro. But it's my chair squeaking and shit. But the last one is John Legend, "Save Room."
Oh, that's a good one for the top 10.
Save Room,
That's a
man.
you have a great list. You have a better list than mine.
That whole album is goaded, man. Like, they have Stereo on there. "Where Did My Baby Go?" Heaven. Like, His
It's
second
excellent.
album, yeah, his second album is goaded, man. Just man, and it's another song on it. I was gonna choose Each Day Gets Better, but I feel like Save Room is a better song than Each Day Gets Better. But those are my favorite songs. Like Each Day Gets Better. I like it better. And then Save Room, my love. You know, like, it's crazy, man. I love those songs, man. I love that. I love John Legend too. Like, man. And
Not many talk.
even ordinary people.
Not many people talk about him, John Legend. Like he was out there in like the late 2000s, 2010s where people really got to hear him, but they don't talk about him much now, which more people should though.
Yeah, because he's underrated. Like a lot of people say, like he's overrated because of his wife or like which all the shit that she done. But I feel like he's like Get Lifted. That whole first album, man, it was classic, classic.
No doubt, man.
I'm trying to research his. Oh, I know his second studio album. Let me see. So the viewers and who's ever listening, they can search up those songs that I named off to you. Hold on, let me see. Albums.
Yeah. But I can rename the while you're looking it up, I can rename the top 5 rappers that I had.
Oh, once again, his second album, once
Yep.
again, that album is classic. Yeah, it's so
Yep.
classic, stuttering and shit. But but even I could have chose Trey Songz.
Yeah, like I said, when you have to think of 10 songs, it's not easy to name because there's so many good ones.
Oh, Trey Songz, Call Me If You Need Me, yo.
Yeah. That's an honorable mention.
Especially when he go, oh, it's like that. Oh, it's like a breakdown, and it's like when the beat come in too. It's like, girl, you let you go, really can't let you go. And if you ever never get it back, you see, you can still come out. Yo, that's just golden, bro.
Yeah, legit. Real talk.
Yeah, man, I love these conversations, man, because I'm such a R&B head. So,
Yeah, I
man,
can tell.
if I wasn't a
Like
rapper, man, I'd be an R&B artist, man. I love
you'll
R&B.
be singing the hell out of the songs. You'll be singing like crazy. You'll be sounding like freaking Bryson Tiller or something like that. Singing like
Oh,
Bryson.
man, I left him off the list, but he's one of my top singers too. Like he'd be like my top 10. Cause man, I listen to Sorrows, the whole because I got the Trap Soul album on vinyl, so that whole album, man, that shit was crazy. My mom begged me to change that whole album. Like,
Like real talk, man.
J. Cole, man, 2014 Forest Hills. She told me change that shit, bro.
Well, yeah, because some people they don't appreciate J. Cole, but J. Cole he has that Forest Hill Drive, Born Sinners, KOD. He had those classics there that people could resonate and listen to, even For Your Eyes Only, which is underrated gem right there. He made a song about folding clothes and made it interesting. And like For Your Eyes Only, the song, it's like For Your Eyes on You, only on you, yeah, me. Like, oh, and the one there where he did where the neighbors one, like J.
Yeah,
Cole was that person. He's that person. Like I know that J. Cole's recently in controversy, but J. Cole, he's when he really is in his bag, he can really do something. He can really do something. And his top 5 is basically very good. And my top 5 would be like Tupac, KRS-One, Nas, Ice Cube, and Big Daddy. No, not Big Daddy Kane. The next one would be, I would say for the top 5 for this one would be, I put LL Cool J because he's a legendary kind of guy that I would put in there because he's an MC that people would love. And Hey Lover is good. Mr. Smith, listening to that album was very good.
Hey, lover, hey, lover. Yo,
Yeah. That song is that song where if you have a girl, you listen to it, and you guys gonna be all the way. Like LL Cool J is like the godfather of freaking making a hip hop song sound so melodic, and he's that person. That's why I have him in the top 5. People don't appreciate him much. Nas is like another top 5. KRS-One, Ice Cube, Pac. and those are in the top 5.
Because like in my top 5, like it changes, it varies, but yeah, because I was a J. Cole stan, bro. Like I still am, to an extent, but I feel like with that apology he did, but I can overlook that because the beef turned nasty. So I'll
Well, yeah,
probably.
real nasty. The only thing I don't like is that J. Cole would flip flop, where he doesn't want to get a part of the beef, but then when he put out Port Antonio, he's like, "Oh, if I beef, I would have lost the brother." I'm like, you should not have said anything if you didn't want to get into the beef. Could have just left it out, but he was unsure about it, and he let people talk him into dissing Kendrick, which wasn't a good thing.
It wasn't a good look at all because it's a lot of reports saying that Schoolboy Q Absol told him to stay out of that beef. Man, I was like, yo, but he responded with 7 minute drill. I'm like, I know J Cole can go harder than this, and he was like, he was saying like Kendrick albums was gassed up, like Mr. Morale was bad. I'm like, yo, Mr.
He
Morale.
doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that. J. Cole, he loves Kendrick's music just as much. Like when he said those things, I was like, nah, J. Cole don't believe that. It sounded like he was thinking of a way to diss Kendrick because Kendrick is very hard to diss. Because Kendrick, he's a lethal battle rapper when people don't really think about it. There's only a few MCs that could take Kendrick on. A few.
Yeah, because I feel like Lupe, he could be one of them. Like, um, yeah, Lupe. I think Royce and I think like Eminem, like those top heavy spitters, I think they can get Kendrick, man. Cause I like cause Lupe he out rap Royce and Royce is like he
Yeah.
bars, bro. I'm like, how can Lupe out rap Royce? This shit is crazy.
Lupe is a top 10 MC. Under people don't look at Lupe enough. They underestimate him, but he made a bunch of tracks back in the 2000 kick push audio. He made so many good music. People just look at Lasers and think, "Oh, he's just an average MC." But I'm like, "No, he has a whole heap of bars that he could do." Jay Electronica could handle Kendrick as well, but I feel like nowadays not as much because Jay Electronica got lazy.
Yeah, like he come around every once in a while and drop an album, but I don't really know much about Jay Electronica, but I heard like he did an album with Hove and he did just like other projects stuff, but like it take me a little while to get into Jay Electronica, but yeah, he's a sleeper for real. Like I think like if he ever get forced into a beef, everybody don't know how well they can do until they battle test it.
Yeah. And Jay Electronica, he was supposed to be where Kendrick is. It's just he got lazy and he took too long to drop because he had Exhibit A, Exhibit C, he had Road to Paradef, and he had all kinds of tracks that were great. Even So What You Saying, The Ghost of Christopher Wallace. Like he had a whole heap of good tracks that would have, if he kept going and he never took a break or anything, he would be where Kendrick is. He took too long. And when he dropped the one with Jay-Z, I was very disappointed. I was like, come on, man. I was like, I didn't want a Jay-Z type album. I wanted a Jay Electronica album. And he just didn't deliver.
Yeah, because I feel like, I know we leave Common off the list, but Common like he's one of the underrated MCs too. Like man, he did his thing against Ice Cube, and
Yeah.
then he
And
re
Drake.
yeah Drake too. Like he got Drake with that Canada Dry part, but I feel like a lot of people feel Drake he beat Common because he had more mainstream success, but I feel like from a standpoint, Common he got Drake. I mean,
He did. Common. The only reason people say that is because they focus on the billboard and all that. But if we look at it from a lyrical point, Common won easily. Like, there's no way Drake could. There's a reason why Drake didn't even bother continuing because Common would have ate him alive. Common was just that guy, and Drake had to leave him alone. Like Drake, the only beef that he did okay was with Meek Mill but the only reason he won against him because Meek Mill's an idiot. And Meek Mill could have easily beat him if he had responded to Charged Up. He waited too long. And then he ended up getting beaten down to the point where now he's a laughing stock.
yeah, and the point was like Meek was a battle rapper, and I was
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. Like he couldn't come back with a haymaker, but even if he would have came back with a turn up track, he would have won. because like it seems like these days beef is all about if you can make a club track, you know, a
Well, it's
club.
not always about that. It's also about which song hits the hardest, which one has the most information that it's never been exposed before. Because Pusha T, he didn't have, well, he had Story of Alt 80 on, but it didn't go charted up to number one or anything. But people knew about it, and that's how Drake lost, because he hit him with the fact of, well, Adonis is your son, and people didn't know that. And when he admitted it, that's where it's like, oh, he lost. And even though that song didn't take Pusha T to number one heights, he still had a major career where he had other hits and everything. So it's not only just about club hits. It's about like which song could hit the hardest and which one has the most facts and everything. Because we can go through every beef and you could see ones where like look at how Not Like Us has became a whole global national song that everybody pretty much knows at this point. There's some people who don't even know the beef that know Not Like Us. Not Like Us is just growing by the day. And in due time, people are going to put it up there with Hit 'em Up. Well, already people are starting to because Hit 'em Up has that vicious stab, and Not Like Us also has it. Because look, ever since, like, imagine if Biggie and Pac were alive and Biggie got to respond more to what Hit 'em Up was. Who knows what Biggie would have done, but with Drake and how he's reacting, it shows
Yeah,
the worst way to react to a beef, like suing a liquor company and just not getting over it. It's like
yeah,
it's
because
not
I
a good
mean,
thing.
my take on a lawsuit is like I can see if if it was supposed to be some. I mean, because everybody that bought it, you feel me? Like all these record labels, they all use bots, to push their songs up. So like these pop stars, they use bots. The country singers, they use bots. R&B, they use bots. Like if you want your song popular, just pay for bots. But I wouldn't sue because of that. I would sue because the label wouldn't pay me what I owe. Let's say like they had this theory of this label starting this potential beef to get Kendrick and Drake to battle so they can UMG can get exposed. But I feel like it goes deeper than that because why would you sue over somebody that you say, well, your kid might be Dave Freeze or you hit on your wife, like that's why the case got thrown out because the judge was saying like, well, from the looks of it, you was engaging in this battle. You was saying like, well, you you purposely calling him a wife beater, and
Mm-hmm.
not fair for him not to call you predator, PDF.
Yep.
So they probably
Yep.
said,
And that's what a lot of the people that are fans have ignored. They're like, oh, but Kendrick did all this. But like, no, Drake did it too, and he did worse. Like, imagine if it was the other way around. We wouldn't hear Kendrick suing. No. Like, the thing is that Drake lost, and they have to accept that he lost. And also, Drake has to now leave the whole thing alone and just move on from it because he can't do much about it.
that's true because I heard somewhere where it was somebody it was an interview I was watching on YouTube and they were saying that when Drake hosted the FCs, I think it was like 2014, and I think that was long after Control came out and it was like sending subs and stuff, and they were saying that Drake he was on a record he was talking real crazy about Kendrick, and then they were saying that the word got back to Kendrick and he said, "All right, bet." So I guess he just kept that inside of him to where he starts sending subs because who would have known about ghostwriting stuff before Meek even shed light on it. So before, and I seen a documentary on this, like they were saying Kendrick was well aware of the ghostwriters before Meek he exposed Drake on it. So even with King Kunta, on to Pimp a Butterfly, because that came out before even Meek even exposed Drake on that. So hey, somebody told him, word got to Kendrick was saying, well, Drake using ghostwriters, and and then it got back to Meek. So hey,
Any other era, he wouldn't have a career. He's just lucky. It's the same thing like with Rick Ross getting exposed as a CO. If it wasn't for the internet era, they would not be around today. They would be long gone. But a lot of them are long gone pretty much now. Like Rick Ross ain't as relevant. Lil Wayne is done. Drake's done. And Nicki Minaj is, well, she's a cokehead. Pretty much all those ones that came, even DJ Khaled is done. So it's like all those ones are gone.
Yeah, the ones that was really pushing that mainstream shit. You feel me? Like,
Yeah, the bad stuff. They're all gone now.
it's one thing, and I want to ask. It's one last question. What are your
Okay.
favorite?
I'm sorry?
Like, what are your favorite films? To watch.
Oh,
Like,
favorite films?
Yeah.
A favorite. Well, naming a film, that's a. Yeah, because finding out a favorite film, that's a very, very, very difficult one. Okay. It could change at any time. So right now, my favorite films would have to be one of them would be Beverly Hills Cop 2. That's one of them in the 5. Another would be Scarface, Goodfellas, Casino, and definitely man, it's going to change very quickly. I'm trying to think of a name that won't change. Another one that is in the top 5, I would have to say Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's another one that's in the top 5. And that's only if I don't switch it, because naming a favorite film is like naming your favorite song. That's going to be very hard because one minute you could say this and next minute you could change it.
Yeah, because like my top 5 films, it gotta be The Last Boy Scout.
Oh, that's a good one.
Jason's Lyrics. It's in my third one. It gotta be. It's not Armageddon. Oh, it gotta be. It's another one. Maybe Forrest Gump. That'd be my third
Oh,
one.
that's a good one. That's in my top 25, but I put it as honorable mention because that one's a deep movie. Same thing with Castaway, but Castaway is under there too.
Yeah, and Sleepless in Seattle. But my fourth one, it gotta be. It gotta be between Rush Hour and Money Talks. So
yeah, it's like so many movies you can name. So it's like as soon as you finish the interview, it's like, hey, your movie list could change.
Yeah, just like no. It's Their Presidents. I'm a huge Lorenz Tate fan, man. Their Presidents.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My fifth
That's
one.
a very good one.
I don't really know if it'll be my fifth one, but it's an honorable mention. Why Do Fools Fall in Love, man? That
One's a good one. That one's a deep, deep, deep kind of film between two people. That is a deep one.
Yeah, he acted his ass off, Lorenz Tate, man. I give applause for him.
Yeah, like he should get his flowers more. Like I'm glad that people are starting to recognize him more. But he had his movies in the 90s. He was that person. Freaking Dead Presidents. And that film you named, and like other films that he was in. Like he was that. Oh, Menace to Society. That's another. Like he was just that person. Old dog.
Postman too.
Yeah.
But I think the ink. Well, he need to throw that shit in the garbage, man. That was the ink hell. That was not good. You know, I might get some flack for that, but the ink it's not good to me, bro. It's like it felt like the acting was real terrible. It's just
Like there's some films that there's some films that they either do well in or it's not as well, or even the other cast just doesn't make you feel the story.
True. Like I feel like you gotta have a story that you believe in, and then when you can believe in, your actors can believe in it too. It's just like if your actors is not acting good, then the movie's not gonna be good. It's like they don't even believe what they acting. It's just
Exactly.
you believe
So you can see it right through them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't mean to hold you over, but you can tell the viewers, the listeners, where to follow you at. Your socials and everything.
My socials are Dwayne J. Peterkin. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You can find me on Facebook, Dwayne Peterkin, even Clapper, Dwayne J. Peterkin. And you can also find my beats page, DJPFreshking.
Oh, that's dope. And what is Clapper? What is that?
Clapper is another app like TikTok, except on that one you could post almost any type of video you want. Like it's a different type of app where you could post videos on there. It's similar to TikTok, but not too far different.
I gotta look into that because I never heard of Clapper.
Yeah, it's an app that's basically not as popular. It was supposed to kick off and compete with TikTok, but it didn't end up doing that. But it's like, second place next to TikTok. If TikTok would have got banned everywhere, people would have been on that app or the Chinese app.
You know how that goes. Man, the Clapper, I never heard of that. I was like, man, the IG models clapping and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, man, what they doing on that clapping shit? But,
Hey man, the companies be making the craziest names for apps. Like hell, even the guy Elon Musk, he changed Twitter to X.
yeah. Have you seen it change the XXX? Well, I don't like that, but porn and shit. But
Hey, but if someone were to download it, they'll be thinking it was an adult site. They'll be like, but it is it's becoming like that because if you go in the comment section for any kind of post, you'll be seeing all kinds of nudity and all kinds of stuff. You're like, my God, I just want to read something. I don't want to see nudity.
like, man, you can just open the app and it's just like it's right there in front of your face. Like it's man,
Yep, center. It's like right in the center. It's like slap right in your face. It's like, damn.
like man, it's like you got to dim your screen in public. It's like, man, get this shit off here, bro. It's like, I mean, you can do what you want, because people have, people entitled to do what they want. But like, I mean, just keep your fantasies off that shit. You feel me?
Right. Like people just want to read some calm stuff without seeing all that, porn stuff on there.
It's like, man, you see so much fetish shit on there, bro. Crazy, man. And it seems like it's acceptable, but
It's insanity. But
yeah, it's like,
hopefully one day they get that in control. But it was good doing the interview with you, DC. I had a lot of fun on here.
yeah, me too, man. We talked a lot about, just about everything, man. We did better than the first three ones. So, I'm
Yep.
just crossed that this one saves too, but I got a feeling it's gonna be a good one, bro.
Real good one. I can't wait to see the whole thing when it comes out for everyone to see.
Yeah, for real, bro. I'm gonna edit it when it's over.
Later talk, man. But it was great doing the interview with you, man. I had a lot of fun. And like, take care and have a great rest of the day, DC.
Man, we definitely made up for it.
Yeah. All right. Take care, DC.
All right, you too, bro.
All right. Later.
All right, later.